I remember exactly how it felt standing there in my graduation gown, diploma in hand, watching my sister Amanda pull up in her brand new Tesla Model S. The pristine white paint gleamed under the California sun, a perfect match for her designer dress and carefully styled hair. My parents beamed with pride as she showed off the leather interior, the massive touchscreen, every premium feature they'd splurged on. $95,000 well spent, my father announced, patting the hood like it was his newest grandchild. Only the best for our star graduate. I stood slightly apart from them, still holding my own diploma magna cum laude from Stanford School of Engineering, a degree I'd earned while working 2 jobs to cover expenses my parents had deemed unnecessary. My sister's degree? A 2.8 GPA in communications from the local state university. Oh, Olivia. My mother suddenly remembered my existence. We have something for you too, dear. She dug through her designer purse, pulling out an envelope. Here you go. Inside was a $50 McDonald's gift card. Not even a new one. The corner was slightly bent, like it had been sitting in someone's wallet for months. Be grateful, my father said, noticing my expression. We know things have been different for you, but at least you finished. That's something, right? Different. That's what they always called it when they treated us like we lived in separate universes. Amanda got a car for her 16th birthday. I got bus passes. She received a fully funded spring break trip to Europe. I got permission to pick up extra shifts at the campus coffee shop. Every disparity, every unfair division was simply different. Thanks, I managed, tucking the gift card into my pocket. It's thoughtful. Amanda slid into her new car's driver's seat, adjusting the mirrors. Don't worry, sis. Maybe if you work really hard at whatever entry-level job you find, you can afford a used Civic someday. She laughed, the sound echoing off the Tesla's acoustic glass. My mother touched my arm, her diamond bracelet catching the light. Honey, you know we would have loved to do more, but with Amanda's career plans, well, she needs to make the right impression. Image is everything in her field. Her field. Amanda had landed a mid-level marketing position at our father's company, Sterling Technologies. No interview required, no experience needed. Just a desk, a title, and a salary that could have paid for 3 of my degrees. I understand, I said quietly. And I did understand more than they knew. While they'd been busy planning Amanda's perfect life, I'd been planning something else entirely. We should get going, my father announced. We have reservations at the Grove to celebrate Amanda's new position. He glanced at me. You're welcome to join us, Olivia, but, well, it's a rather upscale place. I looked down at my simple dress, bought off the clearance rack at Target. No thanks. I actually have a meeting. A meeting? Amanda smirked. With who? The McDonald's hiring manager. I smiled, thinking of the real meeting waiting for me, with the venture capital firm that had just approved my first round of funding. Something like that. They drove off in Amanda's new Tesla, leaving me standing in the parking lot. I pulled out my phone, checking the time. In exactly 45 minutes I would sit down with investors who saw what my family never had. Potential. The next 3 hours passed in a blur of signatures and handshakes. By sunset I had secured $5 million in seed funding for my tech startup, Nova Systems. The investors had been impressed by my prototype, a revolutionary supply chain management platform that could transform how major corporations handled their logistics. My tiny apartment felt different that night. The second-hand furniture and bare walls didn't seem depressing anymore. They were just temporary. On my laptop screen I pulled up the business plan I'd been refining for 2 years. Page after page of code, projections, and strategies that would either make me a success or prove my family right. The McDonald's gift card sat on my desk, a reminder of everything I was working to overcome. I didn't throw it away. Instead, I pinned it to my wall, motivation in plastic form. 3 months later, Nova Systems launched. We started small, targeting mid-sized companies that bigger software providers overlooked. But our platform worked better than anyone expected. Orders poured in. Our client list grew. I hired carefully, building a team that shared my vision. We worked insane hours, fueled by energy drinks and determination. Every small victory felt huge. Every setback just made us work harder. My family remained blissfully unaware. At Thanksgiving dinner, they were too busy discussing Amanda's latest achievement, organizing the company Christmas party, to ask about my life. You should see the venue, she gushed, waving her fork. Daddy says the budget is practically unlimited. That's because Sterling Technologies had its best quarter ever, my father boasted. Our stock price has doubled since last year. I nodded, knowing exactly why their numbers looked so good. 3 of their biggest competitors had switched to Nova's platform, streamlining their operations and cutting costs dramatically. Sterling Technologies was one of the few major companies still using outdated systems. How's your little computer thing going? My mother asked absently, more focused on serving Amanda seconds of dessert. It's fine, I said. Growing steadily. Amanda rolled her eyes. Still playing entrepreneur? You know, there's an opening in our HR department. Basic stuff, but it's a real job at least. I declined politely, driving home that night with a strange sense of peace. Let them think I was struggling. Let them believe I couldn't succeed without their help. The truth would reveal itself soon enough. By our first anniversary, Nova Systems had expanded to 4 offices across the country. Our client list included Fortune 500 companies. Tech magazines started asking for interviews, though I always declined. I preferred to stay in the background, letting our results speak for themselves. Then came the day I'd been both anticipating and dreading. My phone lit up with a message from our sales team. Sterling Technologies had requested a meeting. They wanted to discuss implementing our platform across their entire operation. They're losing market share fast, my VP of sales reported. Their systems are outdated, their costs are too high, and their competitors are all using our software. I sat back in my office chair, looking out over the Seattle skyline from our headquarters. The choice was simple: reveal myself now as Nova's CEO, or continue letting my family believe I was nothing more than a failed startup founder. The McDonald's gift card, now framed, hung on my office wall. Looking at it, I made my decision. Sometimes success is best served cold, with a side of realization. Schedule the meeting, I told my VP. But don't mention my name. Let them think they're meeting with our standard sales team. That night, I received a text from Amanda. Daddy's stressed about work. Something about falling behind the competition. You should really consider that HR position. Family has to stick together in tough times. I didn't reply. Instead, I reviewed the presentation we'd prepared for Sterling Technologies. Our platform would save them millions, but the licensing fees would be substantial. They needed us far more than we needed them. Tomorrow, I would walk into a meeting room and watch my family realize exactly what their failed daughter had built while they were busy buying Teslas and planning parties. Tomorrow, they would learn that success doesn't always come wrapped in a designer dress or parked in a reserved spot. Sometimes it comes in the form of the daughter they underestimated, the one they gave a fast food gift card while her sister got a luxury car. The daughter who took their dismissal and turned it into determination. The daughter who was about to show them what different really means. The Sterling Technologies lobby hadn't changed since my childhood visits. Same marble floors, same oversized logo, same sense of self-importance radiating from every surface. But this time I wasn't here as Richard Sterling's overlooked daughter. I was here as the CEO of Nova Systems, the company they desperately needed to save them. My executive team was already in the conference room. Sarah, my CFO, David from sales, and our lead engineers. All of them knew the situation. All of them had been handpicked not just for their skills, but for their discretion. They're here, Sarah texted. Your father's asking about the CEO. I smiled, adjusting my Armani suit, the kind of outfit my mother always said I couldn't pull off. From my position in the adjacent room, I could hear voices filtering through the door. This is ridiculous, my father's familiar bark. We're a Fortune 500 company. Their CEO should be here. Mr. Sterling, Sarah's calm voice replied, I assure you our CEO will join us shortly. Shall we begin the presentation? I watched through the one-way glass as my family settled into their seats. My father at the head of the table, trying to assert dominance in a meeting where he had none. Amanda beside him tapping away on her phone, barely paying attention. Even my mother had come, probably expecting to network at what they thought would be a routine sales pitch. Sarah began the presentation, outlining how Nova's platform had transformed our clients' operations. Companies using our system have seen average cost reductions of 43% in their first year. Impressive, my father admitted grudgingly. But your fees are astronomical. $10 million for the initial implementation. Plus annual licensing, David added smoothly. However, considering Sterling Technologies lost $50 million to competitors last quarter alone. My father's face reddened. Amanda finally looked up from her phone. Those numbers are confidential, she snapped. How did you dash? We make it our business to know, Sarah continued. Just like we know your current system is losing you contracts. Like the Anderson account last week. The room fell silent. The Anderson contract had been their biggest loss yet, a $100 million deal that went to one of our clients instead. Fine, my father grumbled. You've made your point, but I want to meet your CEO before we sign anything. I don't deal with underlings. That was my cue. I took a deep breath, straightened my shoulders and opened the door. The look on their faces was worth every dismissive comment, every painful holiday dinner, every moment of being treated as less than. My father's jaw actually dropped. Amanda's phone clattered to the table. My mother pressed a manicured hand to her chest, as if trying to keep her heart from escaping. Olivia, she whispered. Hello, family. I walked to the head of the table, my father's spot. He was so shocked he actually moved aside. I believe you wanted to meet Nova's CEO? This is impossible, Amanda sputtered. You can't be. Can't be what? I smiled, opening my laptop. Successful? Who? Someone who built a company worth more than Sterling Technologies' current market cap. My father found his voice. Now wait just a minute, Dash. No, Dad. You wait. I pulled up our company's financials on the screen. Nova Systems. Founded 3 years ago. Current valuation, $2.8 billion. Client list includes 15 Fortune 500 companies. Revenue growth, 300% year-over-year. Amanda's face had gone pale. But you never said anything. Would you have listened? I turned to her. Between showing off your Tesla and planning company parties. Olivia, my mother tried to interject. Honey, if we'd known Dash. Known what? That your daughter with the McDonald's gift card could build something like this. I held up my hand as she tried to speak again. Let's focus on business. Sterling Technologies is losing market share every day. Your competitors are all using our platform. You need us. My father's business instincts finally kicked in. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Making us beg for help. This isn't about enjoyment, Dad. It's about business. Pure and simple. I nodded to Sarah, who distributed the contracts. Our standard agreement. $10 million implementation fee. $3 million annual licensing. Non-negotiable. $10 million. Amanda gasped. Daddy, that's Dash. Less than you lost last quarter, I finished. Much less than you'll lose next quarter without our system. My father stared at the contract, years of pride warring with financial reality. And if we don't sign? Then I'll enjoy watching your competitors continue to thrive using our platform. I stood up, smoothing my jacket. You have until the end of the day to decide. My team will wait. I turned to leave, but my mother's voice stopped me. Wait? All this time when we thought you were struggling. I was building an empire. I looked back at them. One that doesn't run on nepotism or fancy cars or unlimited party budgets. One that succeeds because we're actually good at what we do. The HR position, Amanda said weakly. When I offered you that HR position, I laughed. My salary last year was $40 million. Plus stock options. I pulled something from my purse, the old McDonald's gift card, still in its frame. I keep this in my office. Want to know why? They stared at the bent plastic card, recognition dawning in their eyes. It reminds me that sometimes the best motivation comes from being underestimated. I placed it on the table. You can keep it. I don't need it anymore. I walked out, leaving them with the contracts and the weight of their realizations. My team would handle the rest. I had a company to run. Hours later, as I sat in my office reviewing acquisition proposals, Sarah brought me the signed contracts. They didn't even try to negotiate, she reported. Your father looked different when he signed. Different, I mused. Funny how that word keeps coming up. My phone had been buzzing all afternoon with messages from my family. Mom, honey, please talk to us. We never knew. Amanda, I'm so sorry. I was horrible to you. Dad, I was wrong. About everything. I left them unread. Years of dismissal and inequality couldn't be erased with a few text messages. Instead, I focused on the latest report from our development team. We were about to launch a new product that would make Nova's current success look like a warm-up. That evening, as I was leaving the office, one final message came through from my father. I always taught Amanda that image was everything. He taught me that substance matters more. I've never been so happy to be proven wrong. I smiled, thinking of the McDonald's card now sitting on his desk. Sometimes success isn't about proving others wrong. Sometimes it's about proving yourself right. And sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's excellence achieved in silence while others are too busy underestimating you to notice. 6 months later, Sterling Technologies had fully implemented our platform. Their stock price was recovering. Amanda had been moved to a position more suited to her skills. My father had started stepping back, preparing for retirement. At the next family dinner held in my penthouse this time, the dynamics had shifted completely. No more comparisons, no more different treatment. Success, it turns out, is an excellent equalizer. I just can't believe you kept it secret all this time, my mother said, looking around at my art collection, pieces worth more than Amanda's Tesla. Why didn't you tell us? I picked up my wine glass, considering the question. Would it have meant as much if I had? Some victories need to be earned in silence. Amanda, subdued now, nodded. The day you walked into that conference room, I've never felt smaller or prouder to be your sister. The McDonald's card, my father added quietly. I keep it on my desk now, to remind me never to underestimate anyone again. I looked at my family, humbled, changed, finally seeing me clearly, and felt not triumph but peace. The daughter they once dismissed now owned their corporate salvation. The success they never thought I'd achieve had become their safety net. To different paths, I raised my glass. And to finding our own way to success. They joined the toast, understanding finally that success doesn't always wear designer labels or drive luxury cars. Sometimes it comes in the form of the overlooked daughter who turned rejection into resolve, dismissal into determination, and a fast food gift card into a billion-dollar empire. Different indeed.